Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to one and all present here. Today is the fifth day of the Corpians animation program, Leadership Training for the Future Corpians. Today we have Professor M. Zainuddin Sharif, Vice Principal Administration, Benny College, Chennai, to give the training, to give a lecture and give the information on following leadership standards. What are they to our students today? Now I request Zainuddin Sharif sir to take over this session and give over their points to our students. Thank you, sir.
Bismillah. Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good afternoon. All praise to Allah, the creator and sustainer of the universe. It gives me an immense pleasure to be a part of this program, which has been successfully being conducted by the Corporate Secretaryship Department. I really congratulate them for the efforts they have taken. When the whole world is in lockdown, you are conducting a program called Corpians Animation Program. Animation means lively, making it as having life. It's a very good beginning for the department. Anything without life is not going to be of any use. For the past 3 or 4 days, we have been, the students have been listening to various lectures by eminent speakers, starting from my friend Dr. Haider Ali, who spoke about health. Everybody knows that only if you have good health, you can do something as a leader. That is a basic thing which is required. So health is cleanliness will give you good health. He spoke about it. Next day, our librarian, Dr. Mr. Lukman, who spoke about reading habits. Like cleaning is for body, reading is for the mind. Alhamdulillah, I did a very good work in that one. Then the third day, Dr. Suleiman spoke about compassion, which will lead you to the leadership. So Islam is a religion where you find that compassion is a word repeated many times. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That means the most merciful, compassion. Everything is there. So we are from such a religion where basic tenets of leadership is already involved in us. Now, as a part of my lecture, due to fasting, my throat is getting dry. Can you excuse me for that one? I'm not going to discuss about various types of leadership. Some of them I know that. Democratic leadership, autocratic leadership, transformational leadership, transitional leadership, laissez-faire leadership. Then you have coach-like leadership, bureaucratic leadership, etc. All this you can learn from anybody, any book or any internet, anything. Even Pakir Muhammad and Dr. Pakir Ismail yesterday, so she spoke about how and why we should become leaders. The training programs are there, what are the uses are there, all these things are you have been listening. Now, what are we going to discuss today? What makes a leader? Is this his place of birth? No. For example, Jesus was born in a stable. He went on to become a leader. Buddha was born in a royal family. He also went on to become a leader. APJ Abdul Kalam, born in a small village. He became a leader. Prophet Muhammad and many prophets. So profession was something different. Still they become leaders. How long you are going to live in this world is going to decide what type of leader you are. Absolutely no, because you know very well, Vivekananda lived for around 35 to 40 years. He became a leader. His gender is important. I mean, ladies. Some of the world famous leaders in Gandhi, Boda Meir, I don't know how many members have. You have Sima Bandaranaike, and another famous women leader, Margaret Thatcher. Now we have other political leaders here, New Zealand, Germany, etc. So a gender also does not decide a leader, even Aung Suu Kyi of Burma. The place of birth, country, makes a leader. If you consider Mother Teresa, she was born somewhere, she came here, and she became a very good leader. Does the dress of a person make him a good leader? Gandhi ji was an example. Dress is not important. Same time, our present Prime Minister proved that dress is also important. Think of his modern suits. And education. Kamaraj proved that education is not a very age and their appearance is not important. Very hard. Beside that. That is not very important. In spite of his ailing health, he was doing it. Fidel Castro. From which place you are spreading the message was not important. That is proved by Nelson Mandela. So all these leaders have proved so many things in the entire life. So to become a leader, all these things are not very relevant to us. Then what is relevant? To be a leader, basically, what is the requirement? People to support you, and there should be a competitor. At the same time, there are a task. Only then you can decide how and what type of leader you can be. And when I was studying in this college, new college, long back, during 77 to 81 or 82, I remember, there was a big struggle going on. Why I'm telling is, there should be a difference between head and leadership. Even in a house, head of the family is father, but actually who is the leader? Most of the time you find that the mother is the leader. She only guides. Similarly, during the agitation, the head of the institution was there, but the struggle was in such a way it was going on. Police was coming inside the college campus and all the leaders were in the front. I can remember Professor S.K. Shah Ulami, N.T. Shihabuddin, and Muhammad Rafi, Hadi Ali, and so many professors. And that day I thought, if at all I come to New College, one day I will become either a student leader or a leader of the association. Alhamdulillah, I become New College Staff Association President, and I was elected unopposed 2 times as treasurer and AUP, etc. This is how a leader's role is different from the role of a head. When you talk about leaders, you should be aware of religious or spiritual leaders also. How many spiritual leaders you have heard about other than Prophet Muhammad, Jesus Christ, etc.? Have you ever heard of Deepak Chopra's lectures? Dalai Lama, Paulo Coelho, Pope Francis, Flay, or even our own Art of Living, Ravi Shankar, in Brahma Kumaris, E.K. Shivani, heartfulness, irrespective of the religion, they are all very good spiritual leaders who are spreading peace among the public. So a leader will have not necessarily political leader or a leader of a country or something. Even in our new college, we have produced so many leaders you have seen. I will not get into the details. And certain leadership traits which you can gain from animals. For example, lion. We call it as a king of jungle. Why? Because it is the most just in its dealing with its own tribe. So a leader should have such kind of impartial attitude. Then comes the second animal, cheetah. It's an example of adaptability. It can adapt to any situation. It can swim, it can run fast, it can climb the trees, it can go slowly for play. Adaptability is very, very important. Then you might have seen birds flying in the migratory birds. When they fly, they form like a V. Sometimes they change. The front one comes to the back, other one changes. This is how they share the burden. This is another important property of a good leader. Which type of leader you should not be? Bonded mentality. It has in the elephants. I think somebody who has studied zoology would support my view. Elephants, யானை என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா சின்ன வயசுல கட்டி போட்டு வைப்பாங்க. Small chain. Even if after it's grown up, when it is tied with the chain, it can very easily pull it out. But it will not do that because it is a bonded one. Leslie, are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Can
Yes, sir, I am hearing you. Yes, sir. Continue, sir.
Okay. The second type is monkey. It's adamancy. So it will put a hand inside some window or something. It will try to pull out a big thing, which will not come. But still, it will hold on to it. Tamil la vandu adu korangu pidima. This kind of attitude shouldn't be there. The third one is the Antarctica side. We have seen kiwis moving around. What they do is to check the temperature. They will push the weakest of the animal into the ice. That kind of mentality should not. So anybody can become a leader. Gender, anything is not important. What is more important is you should have a supporting people. You should have a competition or a task. You should have some simple characteristic built in you, which will give an edge over others. Now, coming to standard. Is there any standard for leadership? Only then we can talk about falling standards. See, for example, Prabhakaran, Velupillai Prabhakaran. I think all of you know LTT leader. We had Saddam Hussein, Mahmoud Gaddafi. I don't know how many of you read a book written by Mahmoud Gaddafi. It's called Green Book. Then you have Hosni Mubarak of Egypt, Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, the famous Lenin. They were all leaders. Leader of a particular area or particular policy may not be a world leader. Almost all the names now I said, they were great leaders, but unfortunately, they failed leaders. The statue of Lenin was broken. Mussolini was nowhere. Hitler, Prabhakaran. You know what happened to Saddam Hussein? How Gaddafi was murdered? How Hosni Mubarak was went into trial? What happened? What is the problem with it? So that means when you have some standard that don't fit into the standard, there is a main problem with leadership. There's a crisis of leadership here. Even though the rule for 30, 40 years, they were not able to sustain as leaders. Even now, if you see all the parties here, particularly in India, can you run a party? It's called All India Anna DMK. Still Anna is remembered because no other name will be working here effectively. For survival of Congress, they need Indira Gandhi or Kamaraj. For BJP, they need Golwalkar or Sarwat. Even the so-called communists, they lead Marxists or Leninists. This is how the old thing is going on, and we find there's a lot of problems here. When you think of standard, it's very difficult to have standardized policy for leadership. That is what I want to emphasize here. But there are some general standards which need to be maintained by a leader. What are they? Basically, honesty. Honesty doesn't mean that only involving money. Honest to the organization or honest to the institution, honest to the country. It should be there. Failing which, you will lose the standard. One of the beautiful examples was Richard Nixon, former president of America. You know what happened to him, or you can go through the history and read it. And another gentleman, now still is running a lot of charity work. I mean, Bill Clinton. He was not honest. Because of that, he lost his credibility as a president. Then another famous things coming to the business, you know that Ponzi scheme, which was in the beginning formed by Charles Ponzi. He did so many things, but unfortunately, because of dishonesty, he couldn't become a good leader. WikiLeaks, Assange. Confidential should be maintained. Reliability was not there. So reliability is another word which was very important, which was missing. Coming to our own India. Maybe those account people may be knowing. Harshad Mehta, what he did with shares and other things. There is what happened ultimately. No honesty. Then we had Sahara Group, Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi, and the very, very famous Satyam Group, just dominating the entire IT world because of the dishonesty. They are nowhere now. So these are the examples of falling standards of leadership. One of the very important one, as I mentioned, honesty. Second one, courage. When Gandhi went on Satyagraha, he had the courage to do it. Went to Dandi March, not to collect salt, because he was not having any low blood pressure. Just as a protest, he went there. Such a courageous man he was. Then now Anna Hazare. Then after some time, even we proved that in Jallikattu. There was no leader there. It was a spontaneous thought, and everybody joined that. For such things that you don't require any leaders. It is a thought process which was involved, which is lacking nowadays. Even you can think about Tiananmen Square in China. And the talk of Malala Yousafzai, she had the courage to speak. How many had the courage to speak about like that now? I don't know how many are listening to stand-up comedians. And the recent one, even you think you heard about Kunal Kamra. Just he was trying to bully down another big showman of the country in the name of journalist, a pseudo journalist. You know that who is he? Arnab Goswami. And for Kunal Kamra was banned. Had the courage, but there is lack of tolerance here. So after courage is an important one. The courage which the stand-up comedians have, most of the politicians don't have. You should listen to some of the speeches by stand-up comedians. If time permits, you can go through and find out how beautifully they are criticizing whichever is not proper. Now we have come to a stage, tolerance, which is very, very lacking in our country right now and in the world particular. Yesterday, when there was an interview, our Donald Trump, when question was posed by a lady reporter, President of America says that, go and ask China, don't ask. This kind of intolerant leadership is going, which is the downfall of the standard. Fortunately, in our country, our Prime Minister never bothers to give interviews. He will come, speak for 30 minutes, and say something, okay, finish. Another lockdown or openness. Without openness, there will be lockdown here. Now, whenever there is something happens in northern side, there was a murder, mob lynching. The person was murdered. Normally, when the police comes, when they investigate, what they do is they take the body for postmortem or forensic. Here, the fridge was open, and inside that something was there. They took it out for forensic to find out whether it is beef or mutton. So this kind of tolerance level has come down. So honesty is lacking. So we don't have falling standard. Courage is not there. Tolerance level is coming down. And many countries, they don't permit certain things. Psychophancy. Psychophancy is only when you start praising somebody, they love to hear that. And there are a lot of psychophants moving around, not only in India. If you say something against the policy, immediately they say that Mandir Yahim Banayin. What Mandir has to do with the policy? Now, after the Mandir issue is over, they've been talking about Pakistan, Pakistan, Pakistan. Now that's also over. So for another 2-3 years, we have a very good reason in the name of COVID-19. This psychophancy has gone to such a level that we are spending 3,000 crores on constructing a statue. When migrant laborers are suffering now, we are thinking of constructing new buildings for Rajasthan. And nobody has got the courage to ask this. And the MP's fund is stopped. Even the members of parliaments of their own party, they don't have the courage to ask them. This is nothing but the falling standard, which is nothing but another way psycho. Wherever you go, for anything and everything, they start praising the leader. He may be a head. To become a leader, he has to do a lot of things. Go to foreign country and people, NRA, shouting there, Modi, Modi, Modi. They don't know what is happening here in India. Similarly, when Chinese premier visited here, we were standing in the queue, I don't know what for, and we gave a rousing welcome to another man, Donald Trump, just to show our psychopaths. So among the falling standards, Kasvi, can I go for another 5 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Now, lack of vision. See, there were some business people in India, I just confine myself to India, like the owner of Cafe Coffee. He had a vision, but he doesn't have the withstanding capacity. was indecisive. What happened to Yes Bank? You can think about it. Here, only very few companies, reliability is a very important one. A few companies which were started long back are still surviving because they are maintaining the standards. For example, Tata Group, still they are maintaining honesty, reliability. Similarly, Bajaj Group, they are doing a lot of good things. Then Wipro, they are able to maintain the standard there. So what I would like to tell you is, you should know how to find out the difference between a standard and falling standard, because post COVID, you are going to face a tough task where you are going to be the market. A lot of people will come and market so many things on you. You are not the product. You are going to be the market. Even now, the online teaching, coaching, e-learning, all this have already started, and you have to be very careful about it. And the only thing is, for a leadership, I'm not talking about headship. Anybody can be an head, but only a very few can be leaders. So leadership is not about titles or about positions or about having the flow chart, having your name in the top. It is inspiring the life of another person. What I request you is, read a lot. More than reading, you have to listen a lot, think a lot, think on your own. What is happening around you? You just observe. Only observation can make you a good leader. That's what I feel. I don't know how many of you have heard TED Talks. Whenever you find time, go and listen to them. Some of the very good talks are there. You can learn a lot from them. For example, we have Robin Sharma, Wayne Dyer, Ziegler, and even Arnold Schwarzenegger. They make a lot of good speeches. A lot of speeches there. Even now, I listen to certain speeches by spiritual leaders so that you can gain something from them. The tomorrow, after post-COVID, I don't think there will be one leader to lead anybody. It is going to be a very tough time where you will be having a collective leadership, that is laissez-faire, what they call. Every individual should be capable of understanding the problems, understanding the issues, and try to solve them. And the main thing for a successful thing is, when a leader leaves, there should not be any backward. Like our the famous actor here, who has been telling that Varu Varade. I don't want to mention his name. Varuve Varamate. He is still hesitant. I don't know. But he's going on giving comments. Nobody can save the country. There is no system. All this. An indecisive leadership is still not in a position to take a decision. Then how do you going to believe such a leader? Even in India, we have hundreds of parties. Even from our college, I think G.K. Vasan is in one party, Sarath Kumar is in another party. Then we have Radha Ravi. I don't know, yesterday he was in one party. I don't know tomorrow in which party he will be. Such a nice gentleman, politician. Then we had our own Karthik. Then you have Jawahirullah, Tamim Ansari, Armstrong, Naveen, so many people. All are political leaders. but we wish to see you as team of leaders. I don't want to see any individual leader. I wish the Corpians will again be a role model where you will find that a team of leaders is being generated by corporate department as a whole team. Now you know that everything works as a team. Even for a big party like BJP, last year they wanted some help of outside agencies. The same agency is now being employed by one of the major parties here for election victory. You know who I mean? DMK party. Now everybody started wearing that, like school students. They have their own ID card and other things. One day in Mumbai, everything is on. We don't know how far it is going to be successful. My only humble request to you is don't succumb to any pressure. Think of your own. You always move as a team. And an ideal leader is one who creates leaders. So when I leave this college after retirement, I'm very happy that there are so many people to take up, because I have been always honest and straightforward in asking questions. Whenever there is an wrong thing, if I feel that, immediately I raise the question. That kind of people should be there to question anybody. They should have the courage to say yes. They should have the courage to say no. That type of leaders, alhamdulillah, in our college we have. I will not say that there will be a dearth of leadership after I leave. There is going to be a lot of good leaders inside our college, and some of the potential leaders, I think nothing wrong in mentioning them. Already Dr. Suleiman spoke to you. He can be a good leader if he modifies slightly his attitude. Then I have my own friends, Kamal Nasser. He should have the courage to say yes or no. I think if he listens to that, my lecture, definitely he will do that. Then my good friend Haider Ali. Not necessary that always you should be an yes boss. There should be sometimes you have to differ from the views if they are correct. Not always. Then my own friend, and if I say young friend, you may not be happy. I have Mr. Answer. There are a lot of other youngsters. There's no dearth of talent. Even those who contested the last election, Muhammad Ali, and my department colleague, Kajam, etc. So when you leave as a leader, I don't think I'm a leader. I've done something along with my colleagues who made me a leader. And I wish all of you a very bright future. All of you should become a team of leaders, not an individual leader. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much for the chance given. And if you need any clarifications, inshallah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You are not only the leader, sir. You have made many leaders. You are the role model for many leaders, sir, to be a leader. Some of our students have some want to clarify some doubts, sir. First, I request.
Now, before that, Rasvi, I am very good in asking questions, not in clarifying. Anyway, I will try to do it. Okay.
First, I'll request Inamul Hassan to clarify his doubt.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sir, what would be your advice, for example, what would be your advice for the new generation leaders?
Regarding the public life or your
personal life, sir?
Always be honest. Honesty is the one thing which money cannot buy. Efficiency, sincerity, anything money can buy. Honesty, if you are honest, you will reach greater heights. I always emphasize on honesty and integrity. Nobody is able to question you.
Okay? Thank you so much, sir.
Bharat, now you can clarify your doubt.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, as a leader, how we have to survey in front of the students, sir?
The leader in front of the students.
My fellow students,
You,
with my fellow students.
you want to be a leader for the students. In which year you are now?
I'm first year, sir.
So you have some idea of becoming a leader of association. Because Corpian department gives not only through the students union, they give chance in different ways. The one thing is if you work selflessly for the betterment of the fellow students, naturally they will make you leader. You need not try it all. Your selflessness and your sincerity, dedication, everything, you should be always have the integrity. It is the most important thing which I feel personally always take you to greater heights. Okay. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Abdul Salam, now you can clarify your doubt.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
So just a question, sir. So how does advocacy or how does a leader advocate himself among the among the standards that are put in front of him?
See, that's what I meant. See, the standards are not fixed for any leader. A leader is one who rises to the occasion. A leader is one who speaks for others. So is invited or uninvited. If any problem, you should be quote as a suo motu. You must be able to raise the issue to resolve it. You need not wait for the person to come and complain to you or to register anything to you. You should volunteer for doing good things. Never hesitate to do good things. Don't be afraid of doing good things. Don't afraid of rules. Don't afraid of administration. Don't be afraid of anybody's interference. You will be a really a good leader.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really helpful, sir. Thank you so much.
Samir Parvez, now you can clarify your doubt with sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, I have a basic question. A leader, how does he build a relationship between his teams and himself, sir?
You want to see, unless you have a team, how can you be a leader?
I'm not
The
saying.
team should have.
Yeah.
I don't get the question.
How does a leader build relationships, sir?
Yeah, to build the relationship, first you get their confidence, right? Am I right? How you'll get their confidence? Only if you speak for them without any motive, without expecting anything. You don't expect anything from them, but still
Yes, sir.
you will speak for them. So many a times there are many issues which are not at all related to me, either as a teacher or as a vice principal or anything. But it's my nature. If I think that this matter should be raised, definitely I'll go to any level. Maybe it is because of my upbringing. Without bothering about anything, I always go to the concerned party, how big he may be. I used to ask for a solution or remedy or clarification. So this kind of, this nothing but your integrity will help you, your honesty will help you, and your courage should be there. This is how you can win the confidence of your team and you can become a very good leader.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. The main motive is to be self-confident, sir.
Yeah, your confidence with integrity.
Okay, sir.
Only confidence is nothing but arrogance.
Okay, sir.
With integrity and honesty, it will give you the leadership.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ibrahim Bashir, now you can clarify your doubt.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum.
Sir, when we are good and honest and doing good things, absolutely we will receive threats from many people. At that time, how we should react?
That's what I said. You should have the courage. If you have integrity, honesty, and if you question so many things, sometimes your honesty, your integrity, because certain things I cannot say to the students. So a situation will come where you are helpless. You have to succumb to certain pressures. In such cases, at least try to analyze which is good and which is bad. It will be helpful to your team. Though the route which you are going may not be proper, but as a leader, if you don't want to involve in that one, with courage, you say that I will not get involved in such an activity. So this kind of threats will come, definitely. You must be able to face it. Otherwise, you leave it to a person who is only when you do some wrong thing which you are not interested, you better stay away from that. For doing good things, don't worry about anything. Even if any threat comes, the team will support you definitely, and above all, the whole universe will support you. Your integrity, honesty will support you, and above all, Allah will support you.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you, sir. Jubair, now you can clarify your doubt.
So, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Yes. Walaikum assalam, Jubair.
Sir, what's kind of a leader for this world? What kind of a leader for this world and for this technological world? How can a leader and what is your opinion for this leadership in this country?
Yeah, that's what I said. After this post-COVID, the concept of leadership will definitely change. It is going to be most of the time, it is going to be a collective leadership. 4 or 5 skilled brains sitting together, deciding, because there won't be any direct contact for some time and there won't be any secret talks. So the mind should be thinking in the same way. So such kind of team, that is what I said, instead of having a team leader, it is going to be a team of leaders. So you think of building a team of leaders post-COVID, this is going to be the situation. I hope I have answered your question. Hello? Hello?
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes?
Jafar, now you can clarify your doubt.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
Sir, உங்களை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் இப்ப இருக்க லீடர்ஸ்ல who do you think is a good leader?
You mean political leader or எந்த தலைவர்னாக்கா ஆன்மீக தலைவராக இருக்கலாம், அரசியல் தலைவராக இருக்கலாம், விளையாட்டுத்துறையில தலைவராக இருக்கலாம். My concept of leadership is entirely different. Which leader you are expecting?
Like political leaders or everyone?
இல்ல because I told you இப்போ வந்து பிசினஸ்ல
to follow them political leaders in the world political leaders.
World political leaders, there are many, but யாரை ஃபாலோ பண்ணுங்கிறத விட யாரை பண்ணக்கூடாதுங்கிறது நிறைய இருக்கு.
Okay. Yeah.
You shouldn't follow all these things. இந்த மாதிரி வந்து இன்டெசிசிவா இருக்கிறது, இன்டாலரண்டா இருக்கிறது, சைக்கோஃபென்சியை எதிர்பார்க்கிறது, இந்த மாதிரி இல்லாம சில லீடர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க. ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், if you consider, because some people have something good and they don't have, because in தமிழ்நாட்டிலே பார்த்தா மக்கள் நீதி மையம் கலைஞரா இவர் ஆரம்பிச்சார், நம்ம கமலஹாசன். சில பாலிசிஸ் வந்து நல்லா இருக்கு, அதுக்காக நான் வந்து அவர் சொல்றதெல்லாம் கேட்கணும், சொல்றதெல்லாம் கரெக்ட்னு என்னால் ஏற்றுக்க முடியாது. இன்னொரு கட்சி அண்ணன் சீமான், நாம் தமிழர் கட்சி, அருமையான பேச்சாளர். அவர் வந்து பேசி 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 அவரே பிரபாகர் நினைக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாரு. ஒரு இனவெறியோட போற மாதிரி சில நேரங்கள் இருக்கு. ஆனா வந்து ஒரு நல்ல தலைவராக கூடிய நிறைய தகுதிகள் அவர்கிட்ட இருக்கு. அவருடைய சில கொள்கைகள், கோட்பாடுகள் எனக்கு அதில் உடன்பாடு கிடையாது. நம்ம மாணவர்களே இருந்திருக்காங்க, ஜவாஹிலா இருக்காரு, அண்ணன் தமீம் அன்சாரி, இந்த மாதிரி லோக்கல் லெவல்ல இருக்காங்க. அகில இந்திய லெவல்ல பார்த்தா we wanted to without one time ஆம் ஆத்மி பார்ட்டி ஒரு நல்ல கட்சியா வரும், ஒரு நல்ல கட்சியா தான் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. பட் அன்பார்ச்சுனேட்லி they have their own limitations. எல்லாமே வந்து ஒரு ஆளை சுத்தியே இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்காங்க. If we want to speak, only Arvind Kejriwal. And some of the very good leaders, I admire Mamta Banerjee sometimes for her courage. அவங்க வந்து அவங்க பார்ட்டியில் இருக்கிற மஹுவா மொய்த்ரா வந்து ஸ்பீச் கொடுக்குறாங்க பார்லிமெண்ட்ல. இட்ஸ் ரியலி அஸ்டானிஷிங். அதே மாதிரி ஆம் ஆத்மி பார்ட்டியில் ஒரு லேடி, ஷீஸ் கிவிங் எக்ஸலன்ட் ஸ்பீச். வேர்ல்ட் லெவலில் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா யூ கேன் திங்க் அபவுட் நியூசிலாந்து பிரைம் மினிஸ்டர் லேடி. Now our prime minister speaks for 30 minutes. Whatever her achievement for 2 years, she speaks in 3 minutes. Ketu paranga the speech, one of the best speeches. Then you have Justin Trudeau of Canada. And like that, there are some leaders whom I admire. Hope I have answered your question.
Thank you so much.
Muhammad Qasim, now you can clarify about.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Sir, what is the difference between a team leader and a team manager? Because a team leader is a leader and manager is also leading to under his workers. Sir.
It's like asking what is the difference between cricket team manager and cricket captain. Am I right? Leader is one who is in the field, who is to be involved. Manager is one who is just managing everything, and he is not directly involved in the game. Cricket, like we have manager, you know, I think you understand the concept. He's managing the team, other things, but as a team leader, the actual work should be done by the team leader. But again, I say, emphasize hereafter, it will not be a one leader; it will be a team of leaders who will be maintaining a company or corporate.
Sir, another question.
Yes.
What is the most important values to demonstrate as a leader?
Important values.
Yes,
That's what I'm not one. I told you 2 or 3. In the falling standards, I gave preference to 2 things. One is, do you remember what I said?
Yes, sir.
Honesty and integrity. ஏன்னா பணம் கொடுத்தா எஃபிஷியன்சி வந்துடும், பணம் கொடுத்தா சின்சியாரிட்டி வந்துடும். பட் மணி கேன் நெவர் பை ஹானஸ்டி அண்ட் இன்டெகிரிட்டி. ஸோ தட் தீஸ் டூ ஆர் த மோஸ்ட் வேல்யூபிள் திங்ஸ் விச் யூ ஷுட் ஹாவ். Don't be corrupt, don't yield to corruption. Automatically, you will become a leader par excellence. Anything else?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Shaul,
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam, my friend.
This is Said Ali from New College.
Yes, sir.
And your mentor, thank you very much, sir. You are delivered informative information to our student. Starting with life, I am also wondering, the past 3 days or 4 days, all the resource persons, they are starting with the life. And because biology is one of the important tool to live in the world, am I right? And
yeah, body is required.
Required, yeah. And you are stating about that lion, cheetah, elephant, birds, and even monkey also. So these are the good examples. We have to learn a lot from these animals also, am I right? Even the birds,
Yes.
they are guiding, you know, that at the time of migration.
Yes.
So everyone should have some responsibility regarding the bird. And Sir is I will not forget his help, what he is rendered as he was worked as a COE. And I learned a lot from Zahir sir. Now I am in a position as assistant controller, all because of your effort. Because he will given the things to me. And wholeheartedly I will do my best. And learned a lot from Zahir sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your presentation. It is very more informative, and it's very, very useful to our Corpian students, not only the Corpian students, even our staff also. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Haidar sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Yeah.
For 42 minutes.
Thank you for your valuable comments.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam. You are also there.
Sir, Kamal Nasser.
That shows that Kamal Nazir, Haidar Ali, Zainuddin Sharif are inseparable. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
I'll be missing you a lot.
Wonderful and
Miss you.
thought-provoking speech, sir. You have quoted
Alhamdulillah.
so many things, and you have insisted upon to watch the TEDx.
Yes.
Yeah, that is the they are the various platforms to listen by the students. Alhamdulillah, Allah will give you good health and happy retired life, sir. Thank you, sir.
Alhamdulillah. I'll be missing you a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, I was informed that Dr. Bashir is appointed as principal today.
Yes, just now he is calling over phone this side.
Okay, okay.
Alhamdulillah, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Rasvi. Thank you,
Kamal.
Corpians. Thank you.
Thank you, Razvi.
Thank you,
one
sir,
and
for
all.
your valuable feedback, sir, Kamal Nasir, sir. Now I request Shaul Amin to clarify his doubt.
Assalamualaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
So I have two questions, sir.
Yes.
The first one is how to maintain these leadership standards that you told even during the difficult times.
Yes. Maintaining the standard, you should have that confidence. Come what may, because Commerce Department, we had a head of the department, was a former principal, Professor Dawood Khan. He used to say, come what may. That I heard 40 years back when I was a student. When you take a decision, you stand by it, come what may. If that decision which you are taking is really good one and it is beneficial to majority of the people, you don't bother about the consequences, and definitely you will get the full support. So always stand by a good decision. Don't worry about the consequences. Fight for it. You will definitely win.
So the second question is, when we are a leader with standards, how to solve the problem that arises within the team?
See, in any team, there are bound to be some kind of misunderstandings and something like that. I think I have time to speak about some personal experience in this, about this. Just now, my friend Kamal Nazi spoke to me now. Kamal Nazi sir. I became an office bearer in 2000 as a treasurer. Unopposed, I was elected. Then I was in AUT, other things. When I went abroad and I came back, there was an election. And against me, I wanted to contest. Some of my friends said that you have to contest the elections because we feel that the present leadership has to change. And my opponents were two people. One is, I think I can say this one with Kamal Nasir with your permission. One is Dr. Kamal Nasir, another is Dr. Bashir. Both of them contested against me in the election. Unfortunately or fortunately, I lost the elections. And Kamal Nasir won the election. Now, what I'm going to tell you is, you'll be surprised to know that one of my best younger brothers till date, he has been very affectionate to me and does any work for me, is my friend and younger brother Kamal Nasir. After that, we worked as a team. When I became president, he was separate. Another gentleman, Dr. Bashir, who lost the election, who is going to be principal now. I got married my son to his daughter. So though we had a lot of misunderstandings, maybe in the policies, but it should not come in your personal. When you sit and talk, all the issues will be resolved. That kind of thinking I have. Same thing you can try to adopt, speak openly, frankly, any issue will be resolved. Anything else?
No, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for clarifying the sir. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for spending your valuable time with us in the afternoon afternoon by having a fast also. Thank you, sir. To propose a
Well
formal vote
done.
of thanks, I call Professor Amin Basha of Shift 2 to propose vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. I'm very much honored for thanking everyone who attended today's special talk on leadership. First, I thank today's special guest, Professor Zahiruddin Sharif, sir, Vice Principal Admin, Kamal Nasir, sir, Deputy Warden, Haider Ali, sir, ACOE and SIP Coordinator, and all other faculty members from Shift 1 and Shift 2, and the students who clarified their doubts. And again, I thank all, and especially I thank Ansar sir and Shakir Azbi sir for arranging wonderful movement this. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Zaid sir, for giving a valuable feedback for our students. We will be very much honored to have you here, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Razvi. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. Thanks to all the staff members of the department. Thank you very much.